First Blood is a 4-page short story set prior to the events of the Fate of the Jedi series, or more specifically, after Ship tells the lost tribe of the Sith about the outside world in Fate of the Jedi Omen. Written by Christie Golden with artwork by Brian Rood, First Blood appeared in Star Wars Insider issue number 125 in April of 2011, and was later reprinted in Star Wars Insider Special Edition 2013, and Star Wars Insider The Fiction Collection Volume 1. If you're looking for just one version of First Blood to get, I would recommend the Fiction Collection, both volumes 1 and 2. It's a combination of legends and new canon stories, but it's basically exactly reprinted as it was in Star Wars Insider, and there are more treasures to find within those 2 volumes. So, a brief summary. First Blood tells the story of Vestara's first mission outside of her homeworld of Kesh, as well as her first kill. So first, the good. Coming off of the second to last book in the Fate of the Jedi series, Ascension by Christie Golden, I was left with some questions, specifically how the Sith were able to pull off their infiltration of Coruscant so dang fast. While we don't have any answers to that here, we maybe have the answer to why the Senator Cameron Suldar, who's actually High Lord Ivar working in disguise, why he presents himself as the senator from Benesh. In the Fate of the Jedi series, we never learn where Benesh is, like where it fits in the galaxy map. But in First Blood, we have a connection to Benesh, and in fact, that first chronological connection to it. The slave girl that Vestara kills at the end of the story is escaping from Benesh. She somehow got the crew of the freighter to let her stow away on board en route to Eriadu. So, nothing confirmed, but maybe this is the first event that put Benesh on the Lost Tribe of the Sith's radar, to the extent that years later they're able to pass a member of their group off as that planet's senator. I think First Blood also gives the reader a good look into how much Ship did to get the Lost Tribe of the Sith up to the point that they are in the rest of the Fate of the Jedi series, that he specifically targets this freighter. He picks the people who go on this mission, and Vestara is one of them. The Lost Tribe of the Sith don't quite understand why an apprentice is brought along, but obviously Vestara and Ship have a connection that we see play out throughout the Fate of the Jedi series. And finally, I also think that First Blood is a good look into Vestara's character, showing us she wants to succeed, she wants to grow and learn, but she's not quite like all the other Sith around her. She knows that the slave girl has to die, but she says, I can do it as easily as possible. And obviously, the slave girl does not take her up on that offer, and so she kills her. And I think she's surprised by what she senses in the Force taking life like that so desperately did not want to die and did not want to give up and was trying to make her way to freedom. It's a shock to her, but it's also the first step she takes on her Sith journey, that once she's killed one person, she'll continue to kill more, and it becomes easier and easier. That's the seductive part of the dark side, that once you start to walk down those stairs, it gets harder and harder to climb back up. But on the meh, it's hard to recommend First Blood as essential reading. It adds to what we already know of Vestara's character, but I would say it doesn't really add anything new, and you could really gain a lot of insight for her just from reading the books. It does give us a little introduction to another Sith Saber character, Mayal, who is a friend of Vestara's father, and who we see in the last book of the Fate of the Jedi series, Apocalypse. It also shows that Ivar Worken is considered a prominent member of the Sith even before we really get to know him in Ascension, because along with High Lord Talon, he's one of the people chosen to accompany Ship on this mission. But we really don't get any specifics behind this mission. Ship says, we need the cargo of this vessel. We don't really see what it is. And in fact, it's more about Vestara taking her first step on her Sith journey than, like, the logistics of the Lost Tribe of the Sith becoming this, like, galaxy-wide threat. But if you're interested in checking First Blood out for yourself, I highly recommend the Star Wars Insider fiction collections. But I will also put a link to a PDF scan of First Blood down in the description box so you can read it for yourself. It's one of the first steps in Vestara's Sith journey, even if the whole time I'm reading it, I feel like she's somewhat ill-suited for it. But it's just so ingrained at this point. It doesn't really impart any new necessary information about her, but just builds up our understanding of her character from the Fate of the Jedi series. She's so eager, but her culture is so very wrong. She tries to make things easier for the slave girl, but in the end still obeys her Sith upbringing. So next time, I'm going to be reading the last book in the Fate of the Jedi series, Apocalypse by Troy Denning.